up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up.
Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, big weekend of hockey here at the ODI Center. Friday night, big win over, of course, a rival, the Bismarck Bobcats, and your team really took it to the Bobcats, really firing on all cylinders. And I thought one of the things that was probably most impressive was the fact that you didn't have the full complement of players because of some suspensions and so on that had to be sat. There was a couple guys, well, really the whole team felt like it really kind of took a little bit of a step up, I guess you might say, and kind of maybe even knowing that they had some spots to fill and gave a little extra effort perhaps, but as a team as a whole, I thought they played very well. What do you take away from Friday night's matchup, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly had guys step up. Their efforts were really good on Friday night. I mean, I think we had 6 guys score goals in that game, and we played a real disciplined hockey game, which we needed to do against Bismarck, with being short man. But we started right away, and we tipped the ice in favor of us, and I thought our guys were relentless, and they just played a full 60 minutes of hockey.
Mm-hmm. Well, a shorthanded goal in that one, and as you mentioned, you get Nathan Burke with his first as an Aberdeen wing. You get a lot of things going your way. Power play and the kill, we've talked about it, each Wings Weekly here lately, but the specialty teams have been really strong lately and kind of climbing up when you look at standings too. They're right about in the middle of the pack, and I got a feeling that that's going to be something that we'll touch on here in a bit when it comes to the Wilderness too, but that's been a big part of the game, and you got to feel pretty good about the way your team's improving in that category too.
Yeah, I think at this time of the year, the teams with the better specialty teams come out on top. I mean, it's teams get pretty tight in the standings, and that could be an equalizer. That could be definitely a difference, And our guys are embracing that. They're starting to enjoy the special teams, and they know the importance of them. So, we're just going to keep focusing on them. And like I said, it's a gradual progression with specialty teams. You just have to keep improving. And when we lost Sean Knowlton off the penalty kill, guys had to step up. He was a big part of that penalty kill, and he was a big part of the power play. But guys are embracing their roles and being able to jump in there and play on the specialty teams, which every kid wants to do. And they've been good, and they have to continue to get better.
Mm-hmm. Well, what kind of challenge did you face with knowing again that you're out with some players there having to juggle lines around and fill in some spots, guys maybe having to play a role that they weren't particularly real familiar with, and so on. That had to be challenging as a coaching staff too, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's you're missing some pretty key guys that have been staples in your lineup. Other guys, like on Friday night, Tyler Bossert stepped up and basically doubled up on 2 different lines for the entire game, and he had a heck of a game. But guys certainly embraced us not having the full complement of players, and I thought their effort was very good.
Mm-hmm. Well, a big win, 7-2 on Friday night, beating the rival Bismarck Bobcats, and I think that's 5 of 6 against the Bobcats, which is awesome for Wings fans. Saturday night, you guys come out strong, get a couple of quick goals early in the first, and able to really take it to them in the first, and it felt like, man, this game's really going the Wings' direction. And a couple of weird things happened in that game, Coach. You can tell me if I'm crazy, and I probably am, but it felt like to me that the pace of the game slowed down dramatically in the second and third. And you'd watch at the face-off, for example, the Bruin skater would take an eternity to get up to the dot. They'd be talking, then they'd go over and talk to their goalie, then they'd come back over to the dot, and then they'd move people around, and it just seemed like they were just dragging things out, and it just really seemed to slow the game down and suck a lot of energy out of the building as a whole. And that was an observation that I made, and maybe it's completely crazy, but it just seemed like some of the fire, some of the energy kind of came away from the Wings a little bit in the second and third.
Yeah, we got out of the gates. You can't ask for a better, start of a game, with scoring a shorthanded goal and a power play goal and being up 2-0 at home. And then, once we hit that second, third period, it just seemed like our guys are completely out of gas. And, as a staff, we just kind of trying to figure out why. Obviously some guys had to put a lot of effort into the win on Friday night, but we haven't seen that in the Aberdeen Wings in a long time. especially as a staff, watching our players, and it continually got worse throughout the game, where we just, and credit to Austin, they came and played a great road game, and obviously they were pretty opportunistic on some of their goals. We had some major chances to put that game away. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better opportunities, and their goaltending stood on his head.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was a rare effort by our group, and it's we've been playing such good hockey and at such a good tempo. To see us fall to that, to that kind of tempo was certainly not good.
Yeah.
But these guys are competitors, and our number one skill as a hockey team is our competitiveness, and I certainly expect them to have a good week of preparation and to go right back at it.
Right. Well, you're up 2-0, and I should correct myself. I said earlier Friday night was the shorthanded. It was indeed Saturday night with Colin Rayburn pass from Rue. So that was the shorthanded goal on Saturday night. You're up 2-0 early. And as I said, not only did the energy seem to kind of go away, and I feel like Austin almost had something to do with that, with the way they slowed down the pace of the game and face-offs and so on. But the other thing I was going to mention was how somehow or another Schilling just all of a sudden started playing the lights out, and he's making saves. There's scrambles in front of the crease and opportunities, and somehow or another he found another level. And on paper you wouldn't have expected that really, but he found a way to get it done second and third, and as you said, you got to give him credit for that. But it sure didn't feel that way after the first period. It really felt like you guys had things in hand essentially. Coach, one of the questions that have been asked of me, and this is maybe a little bit hard to ask or answer, I should say, but I was emailed actually an interesting question that after a little bit past the midway point of the season, you had a chance to see all these Central teams. You've faced them numerous times. A fan was wondering how you would compare the Central Division to, say, the South or other divisions around in the league. Do you see this as more of a black and blue kind of division? Is it played the style of the same? Because you think about it when you talk about going to top prospects or whatever else, it always seems like the Central is one of the better teams over there. And is it the caliber and quality of players and coaches perhaps in the Central, or is it even across the board and we just don't see that as fans and spectators that don't see the other divisions play?
Yeah, no, I mean, the big standout in this division is skating.
Yeah.
The skating is certainly at an elite level across the board. There's good hockey down in the South, very good hockey. I mean, some of the coaches down there are terrific.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our whole league has good coaching. But, what stands out to me, being in the South Division for so long and coming into the Central is, teams can flat out skate, and their entire lineups can skate. And if you don't build your team with guys that can really get around the ice in a hurry, you're going to struggle in this division. And I learned that right away out of the gates once I seen the teams early, and I knew that, boy, we better get some guys in here that can really go, or else we're going to struggle. And I think we've done a decent job of bringing guys in that can really skate. Even the guys that have some big-time size on our team can also get around the ice. But, I think every division kind of has its way. Obviously, I spent most of my time in the South Division, and, you get a good brand of hockey, and, it's just different environments. You play in big buildings in front of some big crowds. Here in the Central, you get some of the smaller venues, but passionate fans by all means. But the only glaring thing I can say is the ability to skate across the board. It's a faster game as a whole in the Central Division.
Interesting. All right. Well, hopefully that answers our fans' question, who went ahead and asked me to pass that along. Coach, I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. We'll return with the second half of our show here coming up right after these words from our sponsor.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla, warm it, kiss it, don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to the second portion of today's Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect, along with head coach Scott Langer. And Coach, we kind of broke down the happenings this past weekend at the ODI Center. Nice to have a string full of home games. You've got the Minnesota Wilderness coming up. coming up Friday and Saturday night. 7:15 puck drops here at the ODI Center, and the Wilderness have been playing strong, although Bismarck found a way to beat them on Saturday night, which brings the standings even that much closer. You've got 6 points between Minot and the Blizzard, and then it's, I think, 2-2, 1-2, something like that, between each of the teams. Wilderness, you've seen them once over there in Cloquet, well, 2 games, but over in Cloquet. What do you expect from this team?
Well, they're skilled. You know, they certainly have the ability, skill-wise, to hurt you if you allow them to. You know, they're pretty deep. You know, Timmy's done a great job of putting together some depth there in his lineup. You know, and we seen that the first night we played in Cloquet. I mean, we came in there unprepared a little bit, and they made us pay for it. You know, obviously this is a team we're going to see quite a bit, you know, here in the second half. So we have to play a smart hockey game against them. We certainly got to take away some of their time and space because they are that skilled and they skate really well. And you'll see that come Friday night, that they're a prepared team that certainly could win this division easily with the player pool that they have there. So, you know, we're excited to play a different team. We haven't seen the Wilderness in a while, and we've kind of been playing the same team. So I think it's kind of fun for our guys to have to prepare for a different team and to get ready for an real important series against Wilderness.
Well, and you talked about preparation there briefly. How do you prepare different? Is there anything that's done differently, or is it just a little bit more excitement, as you said, because it's a different team, or are there different things that you look to work on?
Well, I think there's both.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously some excitement. I think our guys are a little angry with the way the weekend ended. You know, we were on a pretty good streak, playing some fantastic hockey. You know, my hat's off to the way our guys have been playing, but you know, you get that sour taste in your mouth with the way, you know, you drop a 2-goal lead at home against Austin. You know, so I expect our guys to come in tomorrow and to really go at it work ethic wise. But you know, Wilderness are a different team. They certainly have different specialty teams. They break the puck out a different way. Their forecheck is different. You know, so there's a lot to actually get our guys ready for this coming weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we talked at the beginning of the show a little bit about your special teams and the improvements. Wilderness, as I touched on a little bit, that they're pretty strong in that category too. They're upwards 23, 24, I think, % in the power play and around 82% on the kill. 5th or 6th overall in the league, if I'm not mistaken, as of Friday night anyway. So that I'm sure will be a bit of a test for your guys as well. Anything that you do differently in that regard?
Well, I think we have to sharpen up on the penalty kill a little bit. You know, the last couple of games we gave up some power play goals we probably shouldn't have. And you know, I think against Austin, it was the difference maker when they scored on the power play. So, you know, we have to definitely clean up a few things on our penalty kill, and you know, we need to add a few more guys to the mix on that because certain guys are doing a lot of penalty killing, and obviously when you penalty kill, you're on the ice quite a bit because you're probably on the power play and you're probably playing a regular shift. So,
right.
You know, we'll be prepared for it, but our guys have to execute, and they got to execute at a pretty good level at this time of the year. You know, no points are easy, and teams are trying to pick you off because they're positioning themselves in the standings as well. And I still think the Wilderness is a team that could fight for the top spot in this division. So, you know, we just have to take care of us and do what we do well, and I think things will take care of themselves if we do.
Absolutely. All right, well, Coach, one final question, I guess, in regard to the team as a whole. How are they health-wise? Are nagging injuries that maybe were covered over the Christmas break? Or, you know, that's a pretty physical game Saturday night, particularly, I thought. Is everybody available to you?
Yeah, I think the answer to that question is that, you know, we're doing okay. You know, I think every team at this time of the year has got their bumps and bruises,
right,
you know, that are normal to hockey, and you know, for the most part, we'll have our, you know, full lineup ready to go. You know, I look forward to it because it doesn't seem like we've had many options when it comes to putting the lineup together. So, you know, we'll see come Friday night, and I think we'll be good.
Sounds good. All right, well, once again, folks, Friday night, Minnesota Wilderness, corporate sponsor is Heartland State Bank. Students Night, all students K through 12 receive $2 off admission at the door. Come skate with the Wings after the game. That's Friday night, 7:15 puck drop. And Saturday night versus the Minnesota Wilderness, once again, a corporate sponsor is Starian Financial. College Night, all college students receive $2 off admission at the door. And again, 7:15 puck drop on both nights. If you're not able to make it out to the Oda Ice Center, you can hear it on 94.1 The Rock on HubCityRadio.com, which is where it's live streamed if you're unable to receive the radio signal, or on HockeyTV.com. That'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we've done this before, so you come on in.